Now the Witch of Westwick had finally disappeared, there was nothing on the mind of the farmers except their beautiful pumpkins. The pumpkin farmers of Westwick had a brilliant harvest that year. They had so many pumpkins that they were able to have pumpkin pie every night. The very first pumpkin they cut was such a beauty, they made a pie out of it for all the workers. Sat around the table, scraping off every last morsel from their plates. Every farmer agreed that there was something unnaturally good about the harvest that year.
Yeah, but we completed it. Something good about this year? Number 2. Night of the Missing... What? I'm just gonna collect it. Is that a ghost? That's kind of creepy. Night of the Missing Pet.
Night of the Missing Pet.
Oh.
Zombie loved his cat. He
Zombie.
called her Emmy, and they went on all sorts of trips together. They went running by the river, climbing over rocks, and lazing under trees. But the most fun was when they terrorized the local villagers of Wheatburn. Emmy would lure the villagers around corners with her soft meow, where Zombie would be waiting to scare them. But now, those times were over. After their scare trips, Zombie would be tired, but Emmy was always still full of energy, so she would venture out into the wild on her own. Sometimes she would be back for days, but this time, it was much longer. After a week, Zombie went out searching, and he found her by the riverside, bruised and broken. The villagers had taken their revenge on his cat, Emmy. Zombie was stricken with grief and hate. His friend, the mad scientist, tried to comfort him, but Zombie couldn't shake it. The villagers need to pay, but they would wait. First, Emmy needed to be buried. Zombie took her body to the local graveyard, where he began to dig hard and fast. He didn't look up until he was surrounded by the dirt walls of the grave. When it was deep enough, he climbed out to get Emmy, but she was missing. He looked everywhere, but he couldn't find her. The only person who knew he was burying her tonight was himself and his friend, the mad scientist. Zombie looked up at his friend's castle. The lights were on in the windows, the strange contraptions working their green smoke. Maybe the mad scientist wasn't his friend after all.
That was creepy. Alright. Now there's actually a floating ghost to be. What? Did you say yummy? This place is crazy. Oh, jeez. Found the contraptions.
Zombie quickly ran up to the castle and burst through the door. "Mad scientist!" he yelled. "Where is my cat?" He raced through hallways of armored knights, shiny swords and crests.
I just did what?
Mad scientist's laboratory. Zombie would get lost in this castle before he found Emmy, but it didn't matter. He had to do it. He had to avenge her. He burst through door after door, pushing over armor stands and decoration through the castle. Destruction and rubble followed in Zombie's wake. He would level this castle to the ground if it meant finding Emmy, but he didn't have to. He turned a corner and saw the telltale green hue of his old friend's experiments. A tall iron door with metal grates stood in his way. "I'm coming, Emmy," Zombie said, and he pushed the door open.
And he pushed the door open. Good to know. Probably gonna end it when I'm done with Act 3. And then we'll go on to the... Why do I keep going the wrong way? What's different? Is there one more? I think there's 4 books in each, right? There should be 4 drops.
The mad scientist's laboratory was just as difficult to navigate as the castle. Bottles and jars of strange green liquids sat on shelves and desks. Otherworldly tendrils poked out of walls.
Oh, I made it, but I didn't land in the water.
Human heads skittered across the floor. Zombie would destroy all of it if Emmy was harmed. Every last bottle and tube, every table and chair. Zombie would even tear
Don't read that.
stone walls. And the mad scientist himself,
Oh, I mean you can, but
he would rip him apart.
I just opened that by accident.
Shred him to pieces. First, those villagers killed his cat, and now his only friend stole her from him? No. Zombie would not stand for this. He ran through the laboratory, knocking things over as he went. The mechanical whirs of the mad scientist's machines droning in the distance. No doubt he was already performing experiments on Emmy. Experiments that he was going to stop. The droning became louder. Zombie was getting closer. He heard a laughter coming from behind a door frame. He rushed to the door, and what he saw made his jaw drop. In the center of the room was Emmy, hooked up to a machine, alive and purring, a greenish tint to her fur.
Alrighty. Finally.
The following night, the villagers of Wheatburn knew no rest. Emmy let out blood-curdling
Emmy
shrieks into the night, and Zombie chased down any villager trying to find the noise. Even when she went alone, Zombie wasn't worried. Emmy was invincible now. She was a zombie, just like him.
Creepy, and I'm gonna end it here. Wait, I'm missing a book? My book!